Stay until the very end, because what I'm about to tell you might completely change the way you see your own mind, your time, and the world you live in. Imagine this. You open your phone, scroll for a few seconds, watch a quick clip, laugh, swipe again. Hours pass, and yet you barely remember what you saw. We live in an age where our minds have become fragmented by constant stimulation, where silence feels uncomfortable, and where even boredom has become a rare luxury. This is not just psychology. It's philosophy in real time. It's the story of how the digital snack culture is quietly reshaping our attention, our identity, and even our values. Our brains were never meant to process this much, this fast. Every time you scroll, every time a new clip flashes in front of your eyes, a tiny burst of dopamine hits your system. It feels good for a second, but it teaches your brain something dangerous. That depth is boring, and novelty is everything. Philosophers once said that attention is the beginning of love. But what happens when attention no longer lasts longer than 5 seconds? What happens when our ability to stay with one thought, one feeling, one person, is constantly being broken apart by the next notification? We start losing the ability to be truly present. And when presence disappears, meaning follows. Think about it. When was the last time you read something all the way through without checking your phone? When was the last time you stared at the sky, or sat in silence, and didn't reach for a screen? This constant need for micro-entertainment turns our inner lives into fragmented clips. The brain adapts. It learns to expect reward after every few seconds. That's why real life feels slower, duller, harder. Relationships feel heavier. Studying feels impossible. Prayer or meditation feels like a battle, because deep attention has become unnatural in a culture designed for distraction. But there's another layer to this identity. When we live inside short clips, we start to become short clips ourselves. We show little pieces of who we are, small flashes of emotion, carefully edited highlights of our lives. The self becomes performance. We no longer live to experience. We live to be seen. The philosopher Kierkegaard warned that the crowd destroys individuality. And yet today the crowd is digital, infinite, and always watching. Our identities bend to trends, to algorithms, to validation loops. We wear masks of ourselves, and the more we switch between them, the harder it becomes to know who we really are underneath. Psychology calls it identity diffusion. Philosophy calls it the loss of the self. Pop culture just calls it normal. And here is where values begin to fade. When everything moves fast, we stop asking what really matters. Integrity, patience, truth. These require slowness. They require discomfort. But the economy of attention rewards the opposite. Outrage spreads faster than reflection. Simplicity sells better than nuance. We end up with viral emotions instead of real convictions. Even morality becomes aesthetic. What looks virtuous, not what is virtuous. The digital world gives us constant choice, but no time to think. It tells us we're free, but keeps us busy enough to forget what freedom actually means. Yet, despite all this, there's a way out. You can reclaim your attention, not by deleting everything, but by becoming conscious again, by watching how your mind reacts when you scroll, by asking yourself, why am I consuming this? What am I avoiding right now? The act of awareness itself is already resistance. Philosophy begins when you stop running and start noticing. It's not about rejecting technology, but about reclaiming sovereignty over your own perception. You are not just a consumer of information. You are the space that chooses what to let in and what to let go. Maybe the truest rebellion today is stillness, the quiet moment in the storm, listening to one song all the way through, watching a film without skipping, reading a page twice just to feel it. Talking to someone without looking at your phone. It's not glamorous. It won't go viral, but it will rebuild your capacity for depth, and depth is where meaning hides. The digital world may have shortened our attention, but it hasn't erased our hunger for truth. It's still there, buried under the noise, waiting for silence to return. So if you're still here, listening, you've already done something extraordinary. You've paid attention. And in a world that profits from your distraction, attention is an act of defiance. Maybe that's where a new kind of identity begins, not one built on views or trends, but on awareness, patience, and depth. So keep questioning, keep noticing, and keep creating moments that last longer than a scroll. Because even in an age of infinite noise, meaning still whispers to those who are willing to listen.